Hi, welcome back. My name is Terry Morgan, and today we're going to build a package. A package is the term at integrate.io for the location where we're going to build your ETL pipeline and manage it. So I'm going to start by clicking on the new package button. I'll give my package a name. Now there are two different types of packages. First, a Dataflow package. A Dataflow package is probably what you think of when you think of an ETL pipeline. In a Dataflow package, we'll extract the data from your data source, perform any necessary transformations, and load it into your target destination. Now, a workflow, on the other hand, allows you to define a sequence of tasks. Running a Dataflow package can be a task in a workflow. You can also execute a SQL query on your database or data warehouse, or even move files, all as tasks. Now, you define the condition that must be met in order to move from one task to the next. So, for instance, I might want to run Dataflow A. Then, when it completes successfully, now I want to run Dataflow B. Alternatively, if it fails, maybe I want to do something different and run Dataflow C instead. So it's a very powerful package type. However, for our demonstration today, we're going to run Dataflow A. Now, you can see that we also have a template drop-down menu. Here are templates that have pipelines already built. So if you find yourself using any of these applications or services, please check out the template. But today we're going to build our package from scratch. So I'm going to click the Create Package button now. Now, integrate.io, ETL and reverse ETL is a point-and-click, drag-and-drop platform. So building pipelines takes just a few minutes, as you will see here. We're going to build these pipelines using components in this Add Component menu. So inside here, you can see that our components are grouped on the left-hand column by data source, transformations components in the center column, and destination components on the right-hand column. So coming back to the data source column, in addition to all of these native connectors, you'll also notice that we have a REST API component, and this allows us to connect to really any data source that you have with an API built in front of it. And not only REST APIs even, but also SOAP APIs. However, for our demonstration today, we are going to extract our data from the Salesforce component. Okay. So in order to configure this component, I will click on it to open it. Now the first step is selecting the connection to your Salesforce organization. So I'll do that here. Second, we need to select our data set. Now there are two different access modes. First, the query access mode. Here you can write a SQL query to extract all the fields that you need from a given object. Alternatively, you can use our object access mode where you scroll through or search in this object drop-down menu. So I'm going to search for the lead object. Go ahead and select that. Now I do still have the option to write a where clause so I can filter this data set. However, I'm going to return all of my leads. I'll move to the final step here. You can see that it brings in all of those fields that are part of the lead object. I can pick and choose if I only need some of them, or click on select all to retrieve all of those fields. At this point, I'm going to save this component, and that is handled extracting our data from Salesforce. So now I'm going to come back to that Add Component menu, and we're going to talk about transformations for a moment. There are 15 transformation components in this list, and all of them except for select are similar. So sort down to distinct at the bottom. These are all table-level transformations. They are no-code components. So setting them up is really quick and easy. I'm going to go ahead and add this filter component to our pipeline. So you can see it shows up connected here. Now I'm going to click on it to open it. So I would like to filter my lead records for, the is deleted column. So I am looking to filter only lead records where is deleted is not true. So I want just the ones that have not been deleted, if you will. So I've got is deleted, and then in my operator column, I have is true. However, I want the records where is deleted is not true, so I will set my condition to not. So now when this component executes, it will filter out records where is deleted is not true. I'm going to save this component now. Okay, we'll come back to that Add Component menu again and look at that select component. Okay, so I'll add it to my pipeline. Now I mentioned it was different than those other transformation components, and that's because inside the select component, I can transform the data field by field. If I click autofill, it brings all of those fields into this component. Okay, now I am going to look for, I'm going to look for this email field here, and I'm going to open this icon to the left of its name. This opens our expression editor. Now inside here, you have over 200 pre-built functions that you can use while writing your expressions here. Now you can do anything from parsing JSON, you'll notice these JSON functions, to formatting date times. You could do that by using our toDate function. There's even curl functions inside here. So if you need to, for instance, post data to an API endpoint, I could do that using this curl function. Now, in addition to all of that functionality, Integrate.io is very focused on security. So there are hashing functions, masking functions, even field level encryption functions. And this really helps our clients adhere to their respective compliance requirements and utilize data security best practices. Now, given that this email field is sensitive data, I am going to go ahead and hash this field using this MD5 function. So I'll put my cursor in front of the email field name, and you can see in the syntax here that it's the name of the function and then the field name inside of parentheses. So if I click on the function, its name comes over here, and then I'll open and close the parentheses around that field name. I will save it. You can see that it's saved up here on the expression side of that field. Now I'll go ahead and save this component. Now, if I'm curious, maybe I'm curious what happens when I'm going to hash that field. So I can come over here on the lower left-hand corner to the Help button, and I can open this console. Now, inside the X console, I can run any of those functions with literal string values and see what's returned. So I'm going to come inside, search for that hashing function. I'll click on MD5. You can see that it shows up over here with a sample. Hello world is the literal string, and it executes it. And now hello world has been transformed into this alphanumeric string, totally obscuring that literal string value. Okay, let's return to our package that we're building. So now we've extracted data from Salesforce. We filtered those leads for is deleted, is not true. We've hashed that email field, and maybe we're ready now to send our data into a database. I'll come back to the destination column and select that database component. Click on it to open it. The first step in setting this up is finding the specific database connection you'd like to use. I'm going to use this MySQL database. Next, here I can input a schema field if I have a particular schema I want to create that table in, or leave it blank to write to the public one. Now here I am going to create a table named Salesforce Leads. I can have my component automatically create that table if it doesn't exist. That's this first checkbox. The second is to automatically add missing columns. Now, how do we want to write that data? We can append, thus inserting new data every time. We can overwrite that whole table each time we run it, or I can merge with existing data. I'm going to choose this merge operation type. This idea, I'm going to run this package every day. I'll run this job, and it's going to keep my leads updated in my database. Now, in addition, we have options here to execute SQL in that database, either before the new data is loaded in the pre-action field or after in the post-action. Now, we also have some other advanced options here. I'm going to click Next and go to the final step. And this is where we will map those fields. I'll click Autofill on the upper right. You can see it's brought in all of those input fields that are coming in through Salesforce and pass those naming conventions across to the destination column side. So if I want to change any of those column names, I can do that here. Now my component is reminding me I need to select a merge key because I had chosen a merge operation type. And I'm going to search for that ID field. This is the field that is my merge key in my data set, so I'll check the box next to its name. At this point, I can save this component. Now I've performed the E process, the extract here from Salesforce, and transformed that data in the middle and loaded it into my database destination. And I'm ready to run this job. But before I do, I want to save and validate. This will run the package through a validation test to check for build time errors. And I can see that no errors were found, so I'll close that. And now I'm going to run the job. Inside here, I can select from any open clusters in my account. I do have a sandbox cluster, but if I didn't, I'd be able to click plus new and then select either sandbox or production and create that cluster here. Now, the next step is verifying that this is the package I want to run. And the final step is changing any of the values of any variables I've created or system variables within my account. Now, I don't need to do any of that. So I will click Run Job on the lower right-hand side. As you can see, it sends that job. And now I'll be able to come over here to my jobs page. And you can see right here, this demo package is now queued and getting ready to run. I can stay here on this jobs page and watch it while it runs. Once it is completed, we'll be able to see whether it's been successful, how many records wrote, kind of all kinds of metadata about that job. Or if it fails, I'd be able to look at the error logs and troubleshoot it. Okay, and now my job is completed. It took 1 minute and 20 seconds and has written, in here you can see, 2,651 records into my database. Now, if it had failed and maybe I wasn't sure what had gone wrong and I needed help, I would be able to click here in the lower left-hand corner and access the live chat support here in the platform. Ask them questions and they'd be able to help me. Thanks for joining me.